Whenever I'm gaming on my Steam Deck, there's always this little voice, this little feeling in the back of my head that says, don't drop it. I know that the odds of that happening are slim to none, but it's still there. There's still this possibility that if it were to fall and hit the floor at just the right angle, it would shatter, it would fall apart, and I wouldn't be able to go ahead and game on the Steam Deck. Now, all jokes aside, Valve, they've done a really good job in terms of building a sturdy handheld that you can take with you wherever you want and play however you want, but that feeling is still there. Satisfye, they've released something that's called the StylthGrip, and it pretty much quells all of those issues for me. It provides complete and total protection for it and an all-in-one purchase. Now, full disclosure, they are sponsoring this video. They did send me this bundle for free, but I am free to say whatever I want in this review. All opinions are my own, and you know, they haven't seen the video before publishing, so just so you know, these are my own opinions. Whenever it comes to bundles like this or covers like this, there are so many questions that come to mind because Valve, they've done such a good job in terms of doing all of the research to ensure that this is an ergonomic, comfortable handheld that you can game on for extended periods of time. Whenever it comes to anything like this, I'm always considering, you know, is this going to be comfortable? Is this going to be ergonomic? Is it going to affect my gameplay? Is it going to make it worse or better? And how is this going to integrate in terms of all of the accessories that I already own for the Steam Deck? The StylthGrip bundle that they did send came with the StylthGrip for the Steam Deck, a StylthGrip cover to protect the front of the Steam Deck. Then there's Ryze pads that include a notch and an extended notch, a premium tin case for the collector's edition, Stealth Glass Pro, which is essentially a screen protector, and silicone risers for the back rear paddles on the Steam Deck itself. At the time of this recording, Satisfye has the StylthGrip readily available for purchase. There's two different options that are available. There's the StylthGrip bundle, which has everything that I'm going to be talking about in this video for $79.99. And then the StylthGrip just itself is $49.99. At that price point for just the StylthGrip, it's comparable to the Project Kill Switch from Dbrand. So when I went into it, I expected a similar level of comfort and just integration into whatever it is that I had for my Steam Deck already. Now, if you're not familiar with Satisfye, they make a ton of accessories for all sorts of platforms, controllers, or whatever it may be. The first time that I ran into them was when I was looking for grips for the Nintendo Switch, and they have an array of different versions, colors, even collaborations with other YouTubers out there. There's just so much that they do. They recently came out with a glyph, which I'm pretty sure you probably saw from Wolfden or any of the other content creators that covered that. But at the end of the day, whatever it is that you need to look for, it's readily available on their website. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is actually the collector's tin that comes with both the bundle and buying the StylthGrip by itself. The thing that definitely leaves a lot to be desired for this is just that, you know, it came kind of dinged up, and this has nothing to do with StylthGrip. This is actually the UPS delivery guy that just decided to just toss it. So, you know, you kind of have to take that into account that you might receive it and it might be bent up. But this does come with both the bundle and just buying the StylthGrip by itself. So it's nice to have, and I kind of like it, but also at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm not going to store things on there. This isn't something that I'm going to go ahead and, you know, keep my Steam Deck in. This is more of a nice to have in terms of the presentation of unboxing and kind of getting that StylthGrip, which is right there ready for you to go ahead and game on. So let's talk about the StylthGrip from Satisfye. There are a lot of things that I like about this thing, and there are some things that I question as far as why they went that route, but let's go ahead and go into the things that I do like. First and foremost, it is ergonomic. I mean, it feels natural to hold the Steam Deck this way. It doesn't feel like it's impeding or changing the overall feel of the grip of the Steam Deck, and it just integrates it naturally. The buttons, they're all readily available. They don't have any sort of constraints. There is a little bit on the right side where like the B is at, but it's very minute, and it really depends on your hand shape and your finger shape when it comes down to it. But aside from that, all of the IO is just there. You don't have to worry about anything being impeded by the case itself. There is a lot of room to breathe, and by that I mean airflow of the Steam Deck itself. The USB-C port that is on the Steam Deck dock works just fine, and it is a flush insert onto that, so you don't have to worry about that. There's this little lip on the bottom of the case itself, and that allows for the case and the Steam Deck to go ahead and sit on the Steam Deck dock from Valve without any sort of mod mod or changing it or having like this crazy overlay or a kind of addition that is on there to increase the size that's readily available for the Steam Deck to sit in there. It works, which is great, because I always hated that about other cases, that you had to have a specific mold that you put on top of Valve's Steam Deck dock in order to change it and make it readily available for this new case. I would rather have something that just works right out of the box and I don't have to worry about things. I don't like the fact that the button cutouts are a little bit, concave, so you kind of have to really push in order to make things work. But aside from that, everything just works beautifully. Now the cover for the case itself is awesome, because it actually just goes ahead and it sits in and it is snug. Like there's absolutely nothing that is going to take this off while you're gaming. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 different points where it goes ahead and attaches onto this actual case, so it's gonna be there and you do not have to worry about it falling off while you're gaming. There is one thing that I do wish was there, but I think that's quelled by the fact that there is an actual screen protector that's there. I wish that there was something that was inside to just protect the screen in case, for any reason this kind of like bent in because it accidentally dropped. Obviously, for most people that get this, they're not going to have to worry about that. They're not going to put the Steam Deck in a situation where that might be necessary, but it is something to take into account. I wish that there was something that was kind of just there protecting the screen from the actual cover itself, just in case, because things happen after all. Hey guys, Future Rudy here. So while I was recording B-roll of the Satisfye StylthGrip, I noticed two things that I want to go ahead and mention. First and foremost is that when you put the cover on, there's enough space on the back that's pretty much designed into the front cover to allow heat to come out. This is really awesome because it's a nice way to protect the Steam Deck itself and make sure that heat isn't there destroying the Steam Deck. If by any chance you put the Steam Deck to sleep, or if the fan is still running for whatever reason, there's a way for that hot air to escape. Secondly, the triggers themselves, they're actually covered by the front of the case. So the moment that you remove it, you're back to gaming. You don't have to worry about anything. It just goes ahead and runs the way that it should. Like that. Anyways, back to current or past Rudy, however, yeah. Hey guys, future Rudy here. So while I was editing and compiling everything for this YouTube video, the Steam Deck OLED was announced. Now, I did a little bit of research because I wanted to see whether or not all of these accessories that I have, whether they function seamlessly with the Steam Deck OLED. So if you have an original Steam Deck and you want to upgrade, whether or not you're going to have to buy all of these new accessories for it. Turns out, based off of what I've seen online, the dimensions and everything is exactly the same as the original Steam Deck. So you don't have to worry about switching or getting new accessories for it. Everything should just work the way that it should. So now back to past Rudy. So let's talk about the Ryze pad and the notch extension that's here. This is weird because there weren't any instructions that actually came in this collector's bundle. So for me, it was a little odd because I didn't really know exactly how to use it after like looking at pictures online and kind of seeing how things are. I deduced that there is essentially supposed to be this little pad that is right here that you go ahead and put on. It's kind of like this rubber pad that's there, and then after that you actually put on this notch. But here's the thing, the notch doesn't really look like it sits 100% comfortably on there. Like the Ryze pad itself, it looks weird, and I don't know if that's just me, I don't know if it's just this specific unit, but the way that it actually sits, it doesn't sit nice and flush, and there's like a little bit of extra I don't know, space that's there, so it isn't a snug fit. That being said, once they're on, once you're gaming with these extensions on there, you don't have to worry too much about it. Everything just works, which is nice. It's just visually, there's definitely a little bit of extra material that's there, so it definitely makes me wonder, what was the process behind that, and what is it? Am I using it the wrong way? Because there isn't any instructions. What was the purpose behind all of that being set up the way that it was? But aside from that, if you're playing FPS games, you can use this on there and it works just fine. You don't really have to worry too much about whether or not this is going to function properly. Talking about the silicone covers for the back buttons or the back paddles that are on the Steam Deck, I didn't realize how much I would actually grow accustomed to having them, because at first I was kind of like, it doesn't really matter. I don't really use the back buttons that much anyways, so I'm not going to really worry too much about them. But what I discovered after having them for a long extended period of time is that there's a certain grip that's here that is nice to have as you're gaming for long extended periods of time. You can kind of put a little bit more weight onto your fingertips this as you're holding the Steam Deck and you're gaming. So it is a nice to have in terms of actually pushing down the buttons while you're gaming. You don't really have to worry too much about things just work and it doesn't impact things, but it does feel a little bit more, I don't know, just secure, like you can go ahead and put more pressure into it, and that I don't really have to worry too much about, you know, misinputting because you have your fingers there in the first place. Whereas without them, I always felt a little bit uncomfortable with having the buttons there because sometimes I'll be gaming and I'll accidentally push it whenever I'm holding the Steam Deck in my hand. So it's nice, it feels comfortable, and adds a lot of grip onto things. If you're like me and you travel a lot for work and you like to take your Steam Deck with you, something like this might get in the way, at least in terms of like traveling long extended periods of time with your Steam Deck. Now, I wanted to see if the actual case itself would fit comfortably in the Steam Deck case that came from Valve when you originally bought your Steam Deck, but unfortunately, when I tried to put it in here, it just didn't fit. It didn't fit at all. I wasn't able to close the case, and I also tried it with TomTalk's case, which is even smaller than this, and that didn't work either. What I did find that did work was TomTalk's Acros bag, or Arcos bag. That seemed to just work fine because it's an open bag and you can kind of fit a bunch of accessories in there, so there's enough space to mess around with having a case like this alongside with the Ryze pads and the notch extensions that's here. So if you're looking for something to kind of like have this on top of something else, that might be the avenue that I would recommend in contrast to like all of the other stuff that's out there, but it's just something that worked for me personally. When it comes to the screen protector that did come with this bundle, it was very easy to install. The instructions that were printed out onto the inside of the packaging of the screen protector were pretty straightforward. It only came with one screen protector, so if you mess up, like that's it, there's nothing else. But there were plenty of tools that were there, sticky strips or whatever it may be, as well as kind of like a little spludger to just make things nice and easy for you in the installation of this. It is a flush mount installation, as in like it's perfectly sized for the screen itself, so you don't really run into too many issues. But what I have noticed with taking my Steam Deck on and off of the Valve Steam Deck dock is that there have been little bubbles that have been building up on the bottom portion of the screen protector. They're very little, very minute, but they are there. So if this is something that might annoy you in the long extended period of time, it's something to take into consideration. So let's go over the likes and gripes when it comes to this. First off, when it comes to the StylthGrip, if you buy the bundle, you don't have to worry about anything else. It's an all-in-one package. So when it comes to protecting your Steam Deck and making sure that it's nice and snug, that's it. You pretty much don't have anything else to worry about, and it just works just fine. I love the fact that this case is so ergonomic and it just feels like a natural extension of the Steam Deck itself. It almost feels like, you know, you didn't have to add anything onto it. It's a natural extension of the ergonomics that have been built into the Steam Deck as is. I also want to go ahead and mention that the cost in terms of what you get is pretty solid. It's not bad. Obviously, it's a little bit more premium than some of the other options that are out there, but when it comes to the comparison against other premium options that are out there, it fits right in there with the rest of them. And I cannot stress this enough. I love the fact that this fits right into the Steam Deck dock from Valve without any issues at all. There is literally nothing you have to do. You just go ahead and boop, put it on. It just works without any issues at all. When it comes to the gripes, I don't like the fact that the concave cutouts for the buttons are there. You kind of have to put in a little bit more force in order to make things work, and it's not as seamless as I would like, but that's definitely a design issue more than anything else. And it could be a personal one for me as well, but based off of when I was gaming, that's something that I did go ahead and run into quite often. I don't like the fact that there aren't any instructions that are in this whole bundle. Like, I didn't know if I was installing the Ryze pads and the notch extension the way that it should be, and if I did or didn't, I have no idea at all whatsoever. I don't like the fact that it doesn't fit the Steam Deck case that came from Valve. Obviously, you know, if you're gonna buy this whole thing that's there, you don't really have to worry about it because it is going to go ahead and protect things, but I do like to go ahead and have a case that's readily available. That way you can go ahead and get things going. That's just my own personal opinion, but with the bag that I do have that I showed earlier, like, I think that's going to work fine and it'll just be a happy medium in terms of things. But if I wanted to have just the case itself, I don't want to have something that detaches like this that I could go ahead and lose quite easily. So what do you guys think of the Stealth Grip from Satisfye for the Steam Deck? Is this something that you could see yourself getting, or is this just a waste of money and something that you wouldn't recommend to anyone? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to hear my thoughts on the Steam Deck 5 months later, click this video over here. And if you want to hear my thoughts on Steam Deck accessories that I personally love, click this video over here. And until next time, guys, I will see you on the next one. Peace.